The following is a paid program brought to you by My Philly Lawyer. The views and opinions expressed are those of the sponsor and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the station and its management.
Good morning. Court Radio is now in session. Call 215-227-2727. When you've got legal questions, we've got the answers. This is Court Radio. And now here's your host, Dean Weitzman.
David tried to kill me. Stand down there, son. Good morning. It's Dean Weitzman, and this is Court Radio. And I'm joined in the studio with a guy causing some feedback.
Feedback man.
David Rappaport.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dave.
How are you?
I'll be fine after you.
Yeah, it's okay now, I think.
Okay. Just a little blood coming out of my ears.
Yeah, me too. Believe me, it was up to 11, the volume.
Funny story, David.
Funny?
Funny.
Woohoo!
I was sent by, you know who sent this to me? It
Who?
was actually Anthony Bolognese, who has been on Court Radio as a guest attorney.
Anthony Bolognese, okay.
Yeah. And Anthony sent me a funny story from Philly.com of a picture of a guy named Kevin Booker, who obviously is a Court Radio fan.
He obviously is, and we'll tell you why.
Philadelphia police busted his door down thinking that Kevin was the ringleader for counterfeit bills and harassed him. And so the police realized they got the wrong guy. They go, oops, sorry.
Sorry, see you later.
Yeah. We'll get that door fixed too, Kevin. And Kevin was interviewed by Philly.com, and they took a picture of him. He's proudly wearing on his front porch, maybe it's his back porch, he's proudly wearing his I Got Answered T-shirt.
Court Radio T-shirt.
Yeah, Kevin, thank you so much. We enjoyed that moment.
In times of harassment.
Yeah.
Wearing the court.
I got answered. So, folks, if you're listening to David and I, you know Court Radio, we answer your legal questions one at a time, just one per customer. And all you got to do is give us a call at 215-227-2727. That's it.
That's it.
All right. Flip him on.
Is that him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on already.
Ready. Kevin Booker, welcome back to Court Radio, dude.
Hey, how you doing, Dean?
All right.
He's already on. We knew you'd probably call
You
him.
were
They
lurking.
didn't tear the door down, Dean. They forced their way in the house. They didn't tear it down.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
All
Well,
right.
lucky for you, you don't have to replace the door. Did they?
Let me get the picture though, where you're running up and down the steps all around with your Court Radio T-shirt on, and they're running
No,
after
I
you.
wasn't.
All right.
No, I wasn't.
Damn, that would have been funny.
So, I read the story. Was the story kind of accurate?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. It's amazing to me that he no. It's amazing to me, Kevin, that kind of stuff happens, but it happens all the time. You know,
Yes, it does.
and you
And
know
I'm
what?
a little infuriated about it.
And you're an ex-cop.
Correct.
Wow.
Correct, but that didn't matter to them.
No, that didn't matter to them. That didn't, and it wouldn't have mattered to you if you were them going into the other guy's house.
I don't know about that. Kevin seems like a little more
I know.
enlightened than they were. So, what's going to happen now, Kev?
Internal Affairs is investigating it and waiting for the outcome.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think that's the right move. I think somebody needs to be disciplined. Somebody needs to have something put in their jacket on what they did that day because, maybe it's an anomaly. Maybe this is the first and only and it'll never happen again for these folks. Or maybe it's historic and maybe that
It's an ongoing problem up here in Northwest. It's an ongoing problem.
Well,
It's just that now they ran up on me.
yeah, yeah.
As someone who's going to do something about it.
All right, Kevin. Well, thanks for calling in, dude, and have a great Sunday.
You need another shirt?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I take one.
yeah. All right. We'll give Kevin a second shirt because he actually
Wait,
advertised.
don't you
for
have
Court
do
Radio.
you have anything else to give him? Maybe.
I do. I have lots of things.
All right, we'll give you something. Maybe
I got these really cool wristbands that say "My Philly Lawyer" on them. I have
Okay.
pens. I've got mints.
You'll give him a pack. How about a pack?
Yeah. Why don't you come down to the office and say hello to me?
All right, I got you, Dean.
All right, Kevin. Take care, buddy. Thanks for calling Court Radio. He's gone.
Yeah.
215-227-2727. Kevin Booker, a regular listener to Court Radio, got harassed by Philly police. And you know what? Court Radio listeners know their rights because they listen. And
Hey,
that's
he
what
was
it's
wearing
all
the
about.
shirt.
And he was wearing the
He's
shirt.
pointing to it going, do you know who I am? I'm a listener.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
All right. So guess what today is?
Do we have Super Bowl, of course?
Super Bowl
Yeah.
Sunday.
I know. Everyone cheer. It's, America. Yay.
Yeah, who's going to? Well, let's get your prediction. Come on.
My prediction?
We always get a prediction.
We do?
I know who I
well,
think is going to win.
I'm a sentimental type of person. So
And I am not.
I
I
know.
follow the cash.
Right. So despite my feelings about having a one time a team that has never won win, if it is going to be Peyton Manning's last game, I'd like to see him go out with a nice stomp.
Yeah, and
That would be cool.
I'd like to see him go out disgraced.
Yeah, I see. Because you put dollars on Carolina, right?
There you go.
All
There
right.
you go.
Because what are they? What are the odds on Carolina? Do you know?
I don't.
How could you put money on it?
You mean how many points are they?
Well, whatever.
They're favored by 6 points.
Carolina.
Yes.
Okay.
Favored by 6. So as long as
That's a tough bet, though.
Yeah, it is. It is because usually Super Bowls are close.
Well, usually you never know with a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But the last couple have been good. So.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping for a good game, no matter what.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. Just make it a good game.
Yeah.
Although when you have
But
money on it,
Cam Newton is just
Yes.
on fire.
well, hopefully he's on fire.
but the Super Bowl has a way of, embarrassing people.
It does.
He could be on the sidelines throwing up and having, his head bashed in. So,
only
speaking
Donovan
of heads
McNabb.
bashed in,
Yeah.
may we segue to the NFL litigation?
Okay.
There has been a tremendous amount of
Plethora.
of autopsies done on ex-NFL players who have had this really serious brain injury as a result of playing in the NFL.
Surprise, surprise.
It's called chronic traumatic encephalopathy. There you go. That's a mouthful for Sunday morning. Chronic traumatic encephalopathy. And guess what?
It's just repeated blows to the. It's just
Yeah. I mean, what do you
boxing.
expect?
Boxing has the same.
Probably.
Well, I think Muhammad Ali, if I'm not mistaken, has that.
Exactly. And suffers. Well, he suffers from Parkinson's.
Well, too. But that was the derivative of that.
And so what's going to happen? Some people, like the producer of Court Radio, thinks they're going to make football illegal. We all laughed at
We
her.
laughed at that one.
Yeah. It's never going to be illegal.
No. Too much money.
They'll pay these players some money, and that's the end of that. You know the risk involved in getting in to a profession where the object is for somebody to crush you.
That's not the issue. The issue, you're absolutely right. The issue is that the NFL has turned a blind eye to a lot of the veterans who have nothing. Because, let's face it, back in the day, they weren't making the money like they make now. And these guys have nothing, and they're living, some of them are homeless, some of them are living in squalor, afflicted with these, So everyone's been crying to have the NFL take care of their own. Take care of them. And if they do, I think you're right. Go back to that. They know what they're getting into. There's enough evidence. You want to play, great. But, take care of them at least.
I agree with you.
They're
I
making so much money.
100% agree. This is where I too have a little bit of a heart.
A little bit of a heart. A little
Yeah.
bit. It's a slight little crack in the exterior.
I'm never going with the owners.
Right.
I'm never going with the money man.
Right.
And so the players are my clients. I mean, that's who I've spent my life representing. And so I say, pay them handsomely.
Yeah.
And allow them to live in dignity. And
you
with
made
the
your
disease.
millions off of them.
Right.
I mean, please.
Why fight that? I mean, come on.
I know.
It's
Of
just-
all the fights. And then you hear how much money's being spent in the Super Bowl, and you wonder, what are they fighting over? Like, the one main thing, their own, they're fighting over.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
All right, so you're hoping for a Broncos win.
Well,
I'm expecting a Carolina win.
I'm hoping for a good game.
And you're hoping for
I really don't care, to be
Okay.
honest with you.
215-227-2727. Let's take line one. Daryl from Media. Hey, Daryl, welcome to Court Radio.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm well, thanks. Is this your first time calling?
Yes, it is.
There you go.
All right.
We're proud of you. What drove you to grab that phone and ring a ding?
Well, I listen a lot every Sunday I'm driving home.
Uh-huh.
And what it was this time they grabbed me, got my attention, was I didn't have a car accident. My car was hit while I was parked.
Right.
A hit and run, basically.
Yep.
And I called my insurance company. I have a $1,000 deductible.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a body shop that dealt with my car before it was hit. I wanted to go back to them. So they said, well, are you willing to go to a body shop that we recommend? I said, well, I'll go for the estimate. It's no big deal. But I know what shop I'm going to take my car to.
Right.
So I go get the estimate, and the guy's telling me how he's going to take care of the car. He's going to buff it. And I'm like, sir, no offense, but I'm not having the work done here. Everything he said he's going to do for the car, I said, well, I'll be right back with your estimate. He came back. It was $1,005.
Right.
I said, well, you just lowballed me, I said.
Well,
the car has to have a fender replaced. He told me the headlight has to come off, the bumper has to come off. He has to fade the fender into the door so it matches the paint. And then all of a sudden he came back with a $1,005 estimate.
Well, let me ask you something, Daryl. Did you bring the car have you yet brought the car to your body shop where you want it fixed to get a real estimate?
Right, exactly. And that's what I told. I'm going to go get the real price to fix this car.
well, this is why we tell people never to go with the insurance company facility. They use cheap parts. They try and cut corners because they want to save money.
Or at least, hey, Daryl, next time, don't get in the guy's face and tell him,
right.
You know, you can give me an estimate, but I'm never going to bring it here.
Yeah,
It's not a good idea for getting a good estimate.
Yeah. When I drove away, I realized what I bought. I got a $5 bill.
Exactly.
All right, so you're going to get a real estimate,
and you're entitled to get it,
and
fixed
you can get it fixed there.
Yeah.
Now they still might try to pay you the $5.
That's true.
You may end up, what you really may have bought yourself is a trip down to municipal court because you may end up having to sue your own insurance company to get paid the real amount. And your story's wonderful. Any judge who hears your story is going to know exactly what happened.
And your own body shop will be your best witness. The ones that say, hey, we can't fix it for this. It's ridiculous.
Exactly.
But you did cause yourself some heartache that you could have maybe avoided. Either one, following David's advice and never go into the shop in the first place. You don't have to.
Right.
And or two,
just not saying anything.
Don't say that you're
get the estimate and go to the other.
Just get the estimate and leave. Smile and say thank you. I'll be back and leave. Now it's still probably because he works for your insurance company. It still probably would have been a low ball offer.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe more than $5.
Oh, he lowballed it. Believe me, because I had a scratch on my car from another incident, and they paid over $1,200 for a scratch.
Right.
I'm like, there was no replacement parts whatsoever. It was buffed out, sanded, buffed it, and repainted.
Yeah,
and I paid $1,200.
It sounds like you got like a $25,000 or $3,000 job sitting there.
Yes, absolutely. But
all right.
Yeah, he came back with $1,005. So otherwise, go to my body shop, let them write the real estimate, and then resubmit that to the insurance company.
Yep, and then be prepared that they might still give you trouble, and you might have to bring them to court.
Well, what I would do is take it to your body shop and let the insurance company send the adjuster and let them deal with the adjuster.
Yeah,
they usually know them because the adjusters work regionally.
Right. The adjuster's working out of Harrisburg. He didn't even come look at the car.
Sorry,
out of body shop.
All right, well, listen, if they come, they come. If they don't come, they don't come. But you get your estimate from your shop and submit that bill and see what happens.
Okay.
Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
I like old school Denver, but I don't think they're going to win that. Denver's too strong. They're too powerful.
There you go. All right, my man.
I'm going to Carolina. All right, you guys have a blessed one. Thank you.
See you, Daryl.
All right.
215-227-2727. Let's talk to Richard from West Philly on line 4. Lar.
How you doing?
Hi, Rich. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. I'm at work now.
Oh, yeah?
I listen to your show. Yeah, I'm a security guard in a private housing, brother. I listen to your show every morning. I get to work around 6:30.
Perfect.
The question I like to ask, I'm almost not in the same boat. But a good friend of mine, his wife died. She owned the house when he got married to her. They've been married close to over 15 years. The children want him out the house and they want to take the house, because they say that's their mother's house. What legal right does he have, and what legal right do the children have?
Okay. Well, here's the deal. So I assume, based on your story, that she didn't leave a will.
No, she didn't have a will.
Okay. So
In fact, the house was in really poor shape, and he came into some money and he did a whole lot of work himself and fixed that house.
Was that when she was
after she died?
After she died, or when-
before she?
Before he died.
All right. So
Before he died.
meaningless.
Married
Meaningless.
over 15 years.
Meaningless. Here's. I'm going to give you one thread of good news in an otherwise bleak story. The house is a part of her estate. Whatever else she has, if that's the only thing she has, whatever, it's a part of the estate. And the estate is going to get divided according to intestacy because there's no will. So it's going to get divided according to the law of Pennsylvania. And the husband in an intestate estate takes it all. Okay? If there is no will and the house is in her name only, he gets everything.
Okay.
Wait, but
But
if there's children
There's
from
a
a
but.
different marriage, okay, they're not his kids, then I believe he takes 50%. He takes the first 30,000 and then 50% of the remainder.
that is it.
So if all the kids are his and hers, he gets it all. But if they're not, then he gets the first 30,000 and half of everything else. But I'm going to tell you
That's correct.
that with angry kids in the background, the best thing you can tell your friend as soon as you get off the phone with me is tomorrow morning call Saul. Call 215-227-2727. Get Saul on the phone, and Saul will bring your friend in, and we'll get this thing all squared away.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I just tell him that.
All right,
And
dude.
if Denver wears their orange, they're going to lose.
Say again?
If Denver wears the orange, you're going to lose.
They lost every Super Bowl when they wore that orange.
Uh-huh.
They won the-
Interesting.
They wore the blue.
Interesting.
So if they come out with that orange, they're going to lose.
And
Okay.
what if they don't? Are they winning?
There's a chance.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There's a chance they may win.
Well, I've come to realize
There's a chance.
Yeah.
I might represent your friend for free. It's a very, very, very slim chance.
I don't know much about.
If your friend,
Tell them that. You have a chance.
if your friend is my
Yeah,
mother,
he's got a chance. Yeah.
I wouldn't represent him for free.
You know,
Give them some hope. But I tell them that.
I don't know football, but
Denver's going to need hope.
yeah, I don't know much about football, but I can tell you what I do know now. Not just now. I know, like nobody likes Denver except maybe people who live in Denver.
Hey,
Nobody.
listen, if I was betting on him, I'd like him, but
Nobody
I'm not.
likes Denver.
All right, have a great Sunday.
I love your show, man.
Thanks.
It's a breath of fresh air in the morning to listen to you guys.
Thank you
Thanks.
so
Take
much. Take care, buddy.
All right.
215-227-2727. You too can get in on the action. All you got to do is think of a legal issue. Everybody's
Or not.
got them. I guess you could just call
Just
us.
call in.
Yeah.
Shoot the breeze.
All right, let's talk to Eric from North Philly on line 3. Eric?
Yes. Good morning, fellas. How y'all doing today?
Good morning.
We're well. Now that we got you on the line. You sound like
Hopefully, at the end of the conversation, I'm doing okay, but hopefully after this conversation, I'll be doing even better.
all right. Go for it.
Okay. Here's the situation. In regards to contract or corporate law, as far as like disclosure is concerned, let's say we agree on whatever the business is, right? Okay, at the time, we look at the numbers and everything, and we say, okay, all right, based on the work that is supposed to be done and the numbers or the money that we're supposed to be paid, we make that agreement. Then, okay, 30 days later, when it's time for me to get paid, all right, the numbers have changed, and again, I have the original paperwork stating that I'm going to be receiving, X amount of dollars for this work. But again, like I said, 30 days later, you send me what you call just a trial statement of payments or whatever, and it's incorrect. And when I call you or whatever, when I hear from you, because I don't talk to you directly. You send word through somebody, but at the end of the day, the numbers are off. They're not what we agreed upon, and the only thing that you can tell me is the reason for that is because you forgot.
Okay, well, the answer to your question is a simple one. If you've got a contract
Right.
and the terms are clear, and you've done your part of the contract, even if it becomes unprofitable for that person, even if it's ending up costing them more than they intended, as long as the terms are clear and you've completed your piece of the deal, then you got to get paid. Sometimes things turn sour on people. That doesn't mean they get to rewrite a contract after the fact. And
Oh, indeed.
so all you got to do is take your contract, okay, and whatever other evidence you need to establish that you've done your part in it, and go to municipal court in Philadelphia if it's under, I don't know, it's always changing. I think $12,000.
Was that municipal court?
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Check that out while we're chatting.
You want me
okay?
to check that?
Yeah,
Okay.
please. Fact check that.
Here we go.
Okay. So is the deal under 12 grand or is it more than 12?
It is under 12 grand. This is for cleaning franchise. Myself and my partner bought into a cleaning franchise, and again, we sat down, ran down the numbers, and today, prior to, we had what they call a walkthrough, where you come to the facility that you're, potentially going to, take this contract. And we walked through and checked everything out. It was explained to us what we was going to be responsible for. And we sat down and hashed out the numbers. And at the end of that conversation, we looked at X amount of dollars. And based on the work that we would have to do versus the money we was going to be paid, we agreed. And again, like I said, 30 days later, upon the time, around
Okay,
the time
whoa. Let me just ask you something. That agreement that you made, was it in writing?
Yes.
Okay. Then you listen, you answered my question. I'm going to answer yours. Take them to court. Philadelphia Municipal Court has a $12,000 jurisdictional limit. David just checked. That means that any disputes for $12,000 or less can start in municipal court. It's a fairly simple process to file a small claims or municipal court complaint. The clerks down there will help you. You just lay out your dispute in simple terms. You pay a few dollars. You sit back and wait for the court date. And then you tell your story to the judge, and they're very helpful to litigants such as yourself to try to get the matter resolved. So go on down there. That's the way you have to do it sometimes.
Indeed. Unfortunately, if people would just be authentic, be upfront, and just keep their word. I mean,
if.
Unfortunately, hey.
Yeah.
Sorry. We got people like you out here, so we be all right.
That's right. All right. Thanks for calling Court Radio, and have a great Sunday.
All right, Denver going to win the Super Bowl. I've been a Peyton Manning fan since he was throwing the ball to Marvin Harrison.
There you go.
All right, well, you call back next week, and I want to hear the boo-hoo cries from you, too, okay?
All right, you fellas have a great day.
Take care. 215-227-2727. You know the number. And when you got problems... When you got legal problems, I mean, if you got emotional or psychiatric problems, it's probably not the number to call. But if you've got legal issues in your life, all you got to do is call that number all week long. You're going to talk to my team at My Philly Lawyer, and the problems will be resolved.
Do you know that the National Chicken Council estimates 1.3 billion wings will be consumed this weekend?
Wow. That's incredible.
1.3 billion wings for Super Bowl.
I won't have...
There's the legacy.
I'm not going to have one.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
But 1.3 billion.
Did you know that I lost 30 pounds?
Couldn't tell.
Wow. Okay. All right. Let me talk to...
Your head's still huge.
Let me talk to Takia. Is it Takia? From Camden on line 4. Oh, Takia.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
You know what you have the distinction...
How are you doing this morning?
We're great. You know what you have the distinction of being?
Excuse me?
Do you know what you have the distinction of being? No?
No.
You are our first female caller today.
Aw.
See? Isn't
There
that
you go.
wonderful? We're 25 minutes into court radio, and all
Look at that
we've
applause.
had are gruffy old men.
Yeah.
Now-
Staunch men who.
Now we got Takia. Hi, Takia. Welcome to court radio.
Hi, how are you? I'm good.
Good.
I'm
Good.
just calling this morning because I want to know. I have a child support problem, and I was receiving child support for maybe about 2 years. Mind you, my son he's about to be 10 soon, so I'm calling because my son's father, he receives money from the state, and child support is telling me there's nothing that they can do. They're not allowed to take from the state. And on top of that, we wanted to see maybe my son can receive a check as well. But we come to find out he can't receive a check because his father didn't make enough money during the time of him working. So I'm trying to figure out if there's something else that I can do so I can receive anything. Like, I'm paying everything right now. Like,
Right.
he doesn't have to pay anything.
When you
It's
say
like
he's
a
getting
free
money
get out
from
of jail.
the state, do you mean that he's getting Social Security?
Yes.
Okay. So he's a Social Security recipient. He's disabled at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he gets a Social Security check and you get nothing. That doesn't seem right. I think there's something that can be done. Probably you're going to have to file for child support, okay, and bring him down to court, because no matter what he makes on Social Security, if it's $300, he still is going to owe a little piece of that to you. Or to your son.
I think they supplement it too. They give you something.
Well,
not sure.
She said that somebody told her that he didn't make enough to get. I find that hard to believe too. Okay, so here's what I'm going to suggest you do. Is this in Jersey or in Philly?
This is Jersey.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you give us a call tomorrow at the number that you called for court radio, and I'm going to make a referral for you to a Jersey domestic relations attorney to get the true answer for your question. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you,
All
Takia.
right. Thank you so much.
Have a great Sunday.
You too.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, before we take the next call,
Hey. What?
I kind of slept on my way down here
Okay.
in the car.
What do you mean you slept in the car?
I let the car drive itself.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Today was the first day I tested out the Tesla for autopilot, and the car follows the lane and speed, and when a car is in front of it, it just slows down. And all I have to do is kind of wake up from my snooze.
What about lights and stuff and stop signs? And
I was on 95, and then
so it's it's a little better than cruise. Well, a lot better than cruise control, but
all I do is hit the turn signal.
yeah.
When it's ready, it goes into the next lane. Hit the turn signal back, it comes back into the lane. I don't touch the steering wheel.
Okay.
There you go.
And
I lived to tell about it, and I didn't hurt anybody
that we know of.
Yes, right. And yes, I chose today, Larry, to do this because I downloaded the new software for the car yesterday, and so now the car is completely automated. Autopilot.
There you go. There might be Dean might have managed to find the one thing I care less about than the Super Bowl.
Well, what happens when there's a case, right? There's a collision, and you wait until the
I know what it is.
23rd and a half month. You got to sue. Now you might have to sue the manufacturer.
Well, I know that there are very few Teslas, so you're the first person I'm going to sue. If it was a
Right.
Tesla and someone saw it.
Just sue Dean Weitzman.
right. Deep pocket.
Deep Pocket Dean. Hey, I like that. But don't think it's true, folks. Hey, the Falls Bridge is closed too.
Yeah. Oh.
So stay away from there.
That must be.
Folks, we're going to come back in 2 minutes because we got to pay the bills. Here's our sponsors.
If you or a loved one has been the victim of a medical mistake or misdiagnosis, you know what matters. Getting proper care matters. Providing for your family matters. Your attorney matters. I'm Dean Weitzman. For more than 30 years, My Philly Lawyer has been holding hospitals and insurance companies accountable for medical errors. Let us fight for you. Call 215-227-2727. My Philly Lawyer, when winning matters most.
If you have legal problems and need answers, call My Philly Lawyer's Dean Weitzman first at 215-227-2727. Whether it's personal injury, medical malpractice, birth injury, or more, Dean is ready to fight for you and the compensation you deserve.
I'm Dean Weitzman. Facing any kind of legal or medical challenge can be overwhelming, but you don't have to go it alone. Call 215-227-2727. My Philly Lawyer, when winning matters most.
You were just hurt. It's not your fault. You're in physical pain. How do you get better? Who is going to help you recover? West Philadelphia Associates has highly trained doctors and staff that can help you today. Don't wait at a hospital. West Philadelphia Associates will work with your attorney, providing documentation of all injuries and the best plan for treatment to get you back to the life you deserve. With diagnostic studies to better detect injuries, West Philadelphia Associates doctors and staff will help you recover. West Philadelphia Associates, here to help you get better because you deserve it. Call 215-471-4714.
For 20 years, Center City Medical Center has provided premium expert medical services for Philadelphia. Whether you need musculoskeletal rehab or an immigration physical, call 888-945-EXAM. Our board-certified physicians have more than 80 years' experience from post-injury rehab to DNA paternity testing. To make an appointment at one of our 3 convenient locations, call 888-945-EXAM. Get premium expert care. Center City Medical Center, serving Northeast, North, and Center City, Philadelphia.
The following is a paid program brought to you by My Philly Lawyer. The views and opinions expressed are those of the sponsor and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the station and its management.
Need more legal answers? Here's more Court Radio with your host, Dean Weitzman.
Good morning and welcome back. It's Court Radio on Super Bowl Sunday. I just destroyed this show, you know? We can never use it as a rerun.
Well, it's true. Well, someone will go and, tweak it.
Yeah.
Cut that out.
Sure.
Delay it.
215-227-2727. That gets you into Court Radio 7 to 8 on Sunday mornings, where David and I will do our best to answer your questions, your legal questions. But if for some reason you don't get through or something pops up during the week, you can always give us a call at 215-227-2727. If you need representation, that's the number for My Philly Lawyer. That's right, My Philly Lawyer. And David,
yes,
let's talk to Alonzo on line 1 from West Philly. Hi, Alonzo. Welcome to Court Radio.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for your patience.
Not a problem.
So, is this the first time you're calling?
Yes.
Well, welcome to the show. You're
Thank you.
Yeah, it's like you're standing right next to me on your own little microphone. You're a radio superstar. So, Alonzo, you have a question about a landlord. What is it?
Yeah. So basically, a pipe had broke in my bathroom that I was telling the landlord about. After maybe about a month, I received some damage. I came home from work and my house basically was flooded. Instead of her, doing the necessary repairs, it took about a month before I heard back from her. So I wound up going down to fair housing and I filed a claim. She also went to municipal to file for an eviction so she didn't have to make the repairs. I beat her about 24 hours, but the municipal date came out before the fair housing date. Fair housing said that I still needed to go to the municipal, but once they see that I was scheduled to go to fair housing, that they would dismiss the case and I would wind up going to fair housing for the case itself. So going down there, she showed up with a lawyer, and we wound up coming to an agreement of 4 months of free rent because I was paid up. So I didn't put anything in escrow. So after we came to the agreement, there was no necessary to go to fair housing. Now, my question is, fair housing only covered and blocked the eviction. But what about the damage to my property? Am I still able to file a municipal lawsuit in small claims court?
I think you can. Ordinarily, all claims have to be raised in a single complaint, but you really haven't filed a complaint yet. The complaint is the legal document that starts the process in court. Mm-hmm. What you filed in fair housing isn't a lawsuit, and so you've not yet filed a lawsuit against your landlord. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And yes, if you have damaged property that you believe was damaged as a result of her negligence, like she didn't make the repairs
right
that needed to be made, but you're going to have to show that negligence. So you have to show.
I have a lot of pictures.
Okay,
so.
Well, you're going to show the damage. Listen to me. You have to show the negligence. So you have to show through usually expert testimony the condition was such that it needed to be repaired. She was on notice of that repair or the need for it, and she didn't do it. So there's two parts to this. One is you have to establish negligence. Negligence means that she had a duty to fix something, and she didn't do it. Okay, or it could be a breach of contract, too. She provides you with a house that's safe and the water is in the pipes and not out of the pipes. So you could base your complaint on either a breach of contract or negligence, but one or the other, and then also the damages. And you're going to need to have proof of what the value is of the things that you're claiming. How much do you think the total value is of all the stuff that was broken or damaged as a result of the flood?
About $5,000.
Okay, so you're within that $12,000 limit. You can go to small claims, not landlord-tenant court, okay, but small claims court. And you're going to sue the landlord for the damages that she caused you to suffer.
Well, I do have some proof. I have several letters that I sent her. Through the mail, and I also emailed to her.
Okay. Letter saying what? Letter saying fix this, fix this, fix this.
Yes. That I was having a leak behind the toilet, and the pipe needed to be fixed. Another letter was asking her, does she have an estimate when she would have someone come out? And I never got a response to any of it. And I also have two letters about the fair housing situation, and after the fair housing situation, and we went down to municipal and we came to agreement. After that, I also sent her a letter asking her was she going to honor my belongings or not, and I didn't get a response.
Okay. Well, that letter is not all that relevant, but the ones that you put her on notice of the leaky pipe are, and I think that, you stand a good chance. There's only one caveat I have for you, and that is you knew the pipe was leaking, and somebody might argue in court that you could have taken steps to have prevented damage to your own goods and that you have some negligence in this damage as well. That's a possibility because it's like you can't leave your stuff there to be, to get wet when you know the pipe is leaking. Because she has a duty, but then again, you might have had an intervening duty to move your stuff into a safer area. Having said that, if it was all of a sudden went from a leak to an explosion, okay, maybe that changes the scenario.
That's what it did. Okay. It wasn't leaking enough for it to drip downstairs because everything that was damaged was the floors below it.
Right.
But it wasn't significant enough during the leak that it was coming through. Like I would just have to mop every few days or so.
I see. Okay. All right. So all I'm telling you is, Alonzo, be prepared for that kind of an attack on you. Okay.
Okay.
I got to go. You got to go. Right. Your time is up. Take care. 215-227-2727. Let's talk to Vicky from Northeast Philly on line 3. Hi, Vicky.
Hi, good morning. How are you guys?
We're doing wonderful.
We're doing good.
Who's going to win the Super Bowl, Vicky?
I don't know because the Eagles is not playing, so that's the only team I root for.
Yeah.
Okay.
That ship sailed a long time ago.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you
okay.
think the Eagles will ever win the Super Bowl again?
Yes, I have faith. I'm not going to give up on my team.
There you go. Philadelphia fans.
It's the Sixers that'll never win ever again.
We're just a joke right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, it's true.
I have faith.
All right. What can we do for you today?
Okay, this is my question. My husband has power of attorney over his aunt. She's in a nursing home. Now, his brother will go visit his aunt also. Now, but he was taking her money out of her account. So when we went to the nursing home about this situation, they sent us down to the business office, and the business officer, she said, yeah, well, it was, his brother. So she shows us the paper where you take out this money out of the account, you have to sign for it. It's not his brother's signature. So I asked her, who is this? She doesn't know, but she knows that it was his brother. So then my husband said, well, why are you allowing him to take money out of her account, and he's not even a power of attorney? And they replied that since he comes to visit her all the time, that's why they allowed him to get the money. So my husband said, well, are you going to replace the money? And they told him that that's something that he has to take up with his brother.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. So again, this is like we're sending everybody to municipal court
I know,
today, but it is what it is. I say that they have a duty.
Yeah,
They have a duty to protect those funds if they're the ones who are safeguarding the funds.
Yeah.
And they have to make sure it's only removed by those who have authority to remove it. And so I'm assuming this account is some sort of small account that it's not at a bank. It's at
No, it's not. It's when her Social Security check goes in, the nursing home takes a certain amount, and then the rest that's left over, they save it in her account.
Yeah, but there must be something.
So
you seem to be alluding there's something in writing that
It's
authorizes somebody to take the money out, right?
No one should be able to take any money out but that power of attorney.
Exactly. I agree.
And
they
this
admit it.
This is money held by the nursing home itself.
Right.
Okay. So I say you get your husband with his little power of attorney to file a lawsuit against the nursing home to collect whatever amounts of money you believe were wrongfully withdrawn from her account.
Mm-hmm.
And if the nursing home has his power of attorney, they're on notice of who the proper party is.
It sounds to me like they admit it. They can't just say, oh, well, that person's been here to visit, so they're redeeming them.
How much are we talking about?
She had $3,100. Now she has $900.
All right. It's $2,200. It's worth fighting over. And guess what? At the end of the day, they're going to have to pay it back. Every nickel of it.
I figured that. I knew they couldn't talk. They trying to figure, well, since he comes to visit her. So my husband said, well, then if that's the case, I can go visit her roommate and you going to give me her money?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, that's a good, excellent point to make to the judge.
Yeah. That's a new occupation, actually.
It's like they're unilaterally deciding who's worthy.
I'm going to start visiting older people in nursing homes. All right. Well,
okay. Thank you. You have a blessed day.
Take care, Vicki. Thanks for calling us.
Bye-bye.
215-227-2727. Probably should have given Vicki a Court Radio T-shirt.
Yeah, well,
she sounded like she needed one.
Probably.
Yeah.
He failed.
Yeah. Well, won't be the last time. All right. How about line 5? Tony from Collingdale.
Tony.
What's up, Tony?
Good morning.
Good morning. You tricked.
How are you?
You tricked me. I thought Tony was a man.
I'm not. I'm Tony Murray.
There you go. Is that Toni?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Well, my producer wrote Tony.
Yeah.
And she doesn't get the idea that a female.
It doesn't spell it that way.
Yeah. Okay. Now that we got that all squared away, I got shocked for a second there. I was like, whoa.
Tony has a high voice.
Yeah. Sounds all right. So, what's your question, Tony with an I?
Oh, okay. Well, good morning to both of you. And I was listening, as I always do every Sunday morning, to you. I have an issue with an apartment issue. It is with a ceiling in my apartment. I live in a duplex. My mom's been here over 16 years. It started leaking on December 23rd. December 29th, the ceiling opened and fell through sheetrock and everything, and it's still dripping. I have a 4-foot opening in the ceiling in this apartment. I went to the borough, and it's still dripping, and I just get texts from the landlord saying, is it still dripping? No one hasn't been here. No one hasn't looked at anything.
Okay,
My
well,
other concern,
You went to the borough. What do you mean by that?
well, there was an inspection that was done here.
And make sure the house is
And-
safe.
Okay.
Right, and he has, I believe, 30 days to fix
Right.
it.
Right. So
And,
here's
it-
what I would
the-
do. I would stop paying your rent.
I did put it in an account. I got one nasty phone call from him saying, well, you're going to have to find a new place.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah, your lease is good till the end. Just keep putting the money into the escrow account, and when you do leave,
Till
take
he
the
fixes
money
it.
with you.
Yeah, until he fixes it.
Because that house is not really, in my opinion, is not habitable.
Yeah.
You know, you forget. I mean, there could be mold developing now. I mean, there's a lot of problems with having water in your house. It's not supposed to
One
be
of
there.
the gentlemen, I'm sorry to interrupt you. One of the gentlemen did say that the insulation was over 55 plus years old.
Yeah, and now it's wet.
Yeah, it's wet. It's cold. It's clammy. It's icky. You know, I mean,
When it had occurred, I had, buckets. There's 4 buckets that are leaking from the beam woods. It's a 4-foot opening.
yeah. And guess what? If it rains, what's going to happen then? You know, I mean,
Yeah, it's still a slow, steady drip.
You have plenty of pictures of it, I assume, right?
Yes, and I have video when it occurred at 4:13 a.m. when it first crashed down, and I was videoing.
Well, here's what you need.
videotaping it.
you know what's going to happen? If he wants to get you out of the house, he's going to have to file an eviction. Okay?
Yeah, and that's not gonna
and that's going to take, some time. I mean, 30, 60 days, 90, and you're going to go in there as a defense and say, hey, listen, I've been putting my money in escrow faithfully every month, waiting for him to make the repairs.
And then you need the photos to show it, and the notice that you gave to him. Now, did you do anything in writing? You have that letter, the borough information. Did you write letters to him personally from you?
I did stop by the district court. They said unless he takes me to court, not to worry.
Yeah,
But I
right.
wanted to know if there was something I could file personally right now, tomorrow morning.
Well, if you had damage, let's say you had an Oriental rug under this
Right.
flood, and
It was ruined.
it was ruined, then you could file for any damage, like the last caller, any damage that the landlords caused you to sustain. You can file a lawsuit against
But
them.
without damage, what is it that you want to sue for? There's nothing.
There was damage, but he said to me that if you have renter's insurance, call your insurance company. I
No.
spoke
No.
with them, and they said they will go after him now.
Yeah. If you have renter's insurance, then the easiest thing is to make a claim to your own carrier
for damage.
But your carrier will definitely sue the landlord.
That's what she said.
But with regard to the rental issue and all that, you can just. I mean, I'm totally in agreement with Dean. You just put it in keep putting it in escrow and don't pay. I don't care what kind of threat you get. There's nothing.
Yeah, well, he gave me a real nasty threat, though, and I was really surprised. Like, my mom's been here 16 years. She's been in and out of hospital, and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I'm scared about the mold, though. Is there any type of test or a specialist I should call in just to see if there's some kind of air quality damage?
You can.
There's tons of them.
But
yeah.
what happens if you find out? Really, I mean, the backstory to this is you need to find a new place to live. 16 years or not, this landlord has proven to you in this instance that this isn't a place you want to stay.
Okay.
So I think rather than spend money on air quality control, you need to get your shoes on and pull out
Find
the
a better
paper
place.
or open the computer and start finding a better place to live.
And then let him sue you for the rent that wasn't paid and have him try and collect it.
Yeah.
Because
you were forced at a moment's notice out of your 16-year-old residence because this dude won't fix his stuff. You know? Nobody's going to have a lot of sympathy for him. So, you can't stay there at this point. I think that's the bottom line,
Right.
It's just not going to work.
Yes, and he's been sending me texts. Is it still dripping? I may have someone coming by. If he doesn't come by, someone else will come by.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for calling Court Radio. We hope we set you on the right path.
Absolutely. You have a wonderful, great day.
Thanks. Take care. Folks, we've must take the next break. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.
If you've been injured on the job and are entitled to workers' comp, you need someone fighting for you from the start. Call Jeffrey Gross, attorney at law. Don't rely on your employer or insurance company to get it right. Call 215-512-1500. If you're entitled to workers' comp or it's being challenged, Jeffrey Gross can help get the money you deserve, and he won't get paid unless you get paid. Call 215-512-1500. Jeffrey Gross, attorney at law, representing Pennsylvania's injured workers for more than 20 years.
If you've been in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, you know what matters. Being able to afford medical care, providing for your family while you're out of work, knowing your rights, and getting just compensation. These things matter. That's why your attorney matters. I'm Dean Weitzman. If you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident, My Philly Lawyer will fight for you. Call 215-227-2727. My Philly Lawyer, when winning matters most. If you or a loved one has been the victim of a medical mistake or misdiagnosis, you know what matters. Getting proper care matters. Providing for your family matters. Your attorney matters. I'm Dean Weitzman. For more than 30 years, My Philly Lawyer has been holding hospitals and insurance companies accountable for medical errors. Let us fight for you. Call 215-227-2727. My Philly Lawyer, when winning matters most.
If you have legal problems and need answers, call My Philly Lawyer's Dean Weitzman first at 215-227-2727. Whether it's personal injury, medical malpractice, birth injury, or more, Dean is ready to fight for you and the compensation you deserve.
I'm Dean Weitzman. Facing any kind of legal or medical challenge can be overwhelming, but you don't have to go it alone. Call 215-227-2727. My Philly Lawyer, when winning matters most.
The following is a paid program brought to you by My Philly Lawyer. The views and opinions expressed are those of the sponsor and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the station and its management.
Need more legal answers? Here's more Court Radio with your host, Dean Weitzman.
Good morning and welcome back. I'm Dean Weitzman, and this is Court Radio. Joined in the studio with my co-host, the inimitable, the one, the only,
The abominable
David M. Rappaport.
Hello, abominable snowman.
So we got Super Bowl Sunday.
Yes.
I predict a big win for Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a question about a will from Stephanie from Townsend, Delaware. That little state below us. Hello, Stephanie. Welcome to Court
Hello.
Radio. Hi.
Hello.
Good morning to you guys. How are you today?
Okay.
We're doing well, thanks. Is this your first
First
time?
and foremost, I have to say I really enjoy your show, and I love your personalities. It's just contagious.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing is, my question was two-part. It's more so around real estate in the city of Philadelphia. And
Okay.
the question that I have for you guys is if you were aware of any changes with regards to PGW and the landlord-tenant cooperation program. My husband and I were enrolled in this program when it first came out. We had several properties enrolled in that, and you have to keep your licenses up to date, et cetera, et cetera. Somehow or another, we had a property that was dropped out of the system. No one was able to explain it, but we got stuck with a lien for someone else's gas bill. And we weren't notified, but we got one letter. We got one letter is how we were notified, but the other two letters have went to a previous address that we had lived at. And I was just wondering if you guys had any updates on that. I spoke to a few attorneys, and no one, seems to know, how to get around it besides us being responsible for this particular lien now.
Well, is this on
Mm-hmm.
a property that you own that you rented? Am I correct?
Yes.
And
yes,
and it was the
property we own,
renter's.
we rent it.
It was the renter's bill that you're now responsible
Yes.
for. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm not familiar with the program, but I'm pretty sure if you can establish that it wasn't your bill and it was a renter and it was under their name, was it under their name or your name?
It was actually under their name. They have this landlord-tenant cooperation program where if a tenant falls behind, they notify you so they can come in, I guess, to shut the service off.
Right.
Somehow or another, according to them, they're not sure how this particular unit dropped off. When I went in,
That still doesn't make it your responsibility if it's in their name. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't get that.
Well,
I get it if it's in your name and you're just charging your tenant and they don't pay.
Nope.
That's your deal.
Nope.
But right.
it was in their name.
Yeah.
And not only was it shut off, they returned it on for them. And me and my husband are stuck with a $3,000 lien. It's on the property.
It is on the
we
property.
haven't been able to get it off.
The lien's on the property now. Yeah. Well, that's now. But so you're in a you got to go backwards with this. You're going to have to deal with that issue. But ultimately, I don't know how that could have happened and why you shouldn't be responsible for that. In my
What
opinion.
happens if she sues PGW for $3,000 for breach of contract? Because they had a contract
with that
program, and they violated the contract. Now they're going to say the house wasn't on, but then it's going to get down to why it wasn't on. And if it was PGW's error in taking the house off, then I think she wins that argument.
True.
They're saying, I've reached out to several lawyers, and they're like, oh, this has happened to so many of our other clients. This is terrible. No one has really taken them on. No one has felt they've been able to beat it.
Well, I don't listen. No offense, but you're going to have a hard time getting a lawyer interested in taking on PGW for $3,000. I mean, this is not a class action lawsuit, but
that was my question. Do you feel that I could do a class action suit? I know just recently something had happened with my parents where it was like a no-win situation, and then they got notification that someone did file
the reason I don't
they're usually national.
The reason I don't think it's potentially a class action is that there has to be enough similarity between the claims.
Right.
And I guess the answer is maybe, but you have to figure out why this house fell off of the protected list. And if if all of the circumstances on why the houses fall off the list are similar enough, then maybe it could be. But again, right now, what I would suggest for you is file a lawsuit against PGW for $3,000, and claim that they unjustly charged you $3,000 when in fact you were in a program that protected you from that. And then the onus is going to be on PGW to hire lawyers and go to court and argue why it's not their fault. The only way you get this to court is to file the lawsuit. Everybody today is going to municipal court.
Municipal court, yeah.
There you go.
And it's easy. You do it yourself. It costs under $100.
Yep.
Yeah, and I did take the tenants back. I did add it in their judgment, so I was able to do that.
Okay.
But I know you guys got to go. So the other question I have for you, someone had called in about a will and a piece of property. My husband and I have been married for 13 years.
You got to save that for next week, because in 11 seconds we get the cane and we get pulled out. But I want you to stay on the line. We're going to have our producer grab the phone right from you and get your address and send your court.
You
radio
can always
T-shirt.
email that question to Dean directly.
Yeah, Dean at myphillylawyer.com. Take care. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
And the violation of the double question.
All right, we're out.
Two
Folks,
questions.
We'll see you next week. Let's see who wins the Super Bowl. Have a safe and wonderful Sunday.